Welcome to episode 14 of FoundersGyan. Thanks for tuning in. This week's guest on the show is Malini Gowrishankar, who's the founder of F5Escapes.com. That is F, then the number 5, and escapes.com. F5 Escapes aims to help women travelers travel safe within India, and they want to put India back on the travel map as a safe place to travel alone. We had a great time in recording this show and hope you find it interesting and useful too. Don't forget to check out the top listen podcasts by visiting www.foundersgyan.com/top. That is TOP. Now let's get on with the show.
If you're in trouble and you need someone to help you out, there's no need to whistle and there's no need to shout. Hey, 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 help is on its way.
Malini, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you on air. A quick brief on Malini. She has donned multiple hats, starting her career as a Java, C#, and Ruby developer, then branching out as a voiceover artist and into creative writing, and then finally starting her own venture called F5Escapes. It's a real pleasure to meet somebody like you. Welcome to the show. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your knowledge, wisdom, and time with our listeners.
Thank you so much, Ram. It's a pleasure to be a part of this show.
Thank you. Malini, can you fill in the blanks from the intro about your journey before F5Escapes?
Okay. So, I have about 11 years of experience. So I started off similarly like most other people of our generation. I started off with engineering. After completing my engineering in electronics and communication, I went on to take up a job with Polaris Software Labs in Chennai, and I was a support engineer there. And then I moved on to Oracle Financial Services, which used to be called iFlex earlier. And then I spent about close to 2.5 years there, and then I moved on to ThoughtWorks. In ThoughtWorks, I was on multiple programming stacks. I was primarily a Java developer, but also worked around on Ruby and C# platforms as well. And so out and out of techie. A little bit of business analysis came into me when I started contributing to the business angle also at ThoughtWorks. I was a part of the recruitment, the requirements gathering team, the part of the inception team, and I slowly started understanding the business angle of things. That is where I thought the bigger picture came. I was always working on a small chunk of the project, whereas it was always very exciting to look at the bigger picture. But also the real change came to me when I became a tech lead, and I had to change my LinkedIn profile. I had to update my LinkedIn profile, and I was just asking myself, okay, tech lead at purpose, is this what you want to do with your life? That question came in, and that's when my life changed, I guess. I could think of an alternate career because I had some very strong hobbies, which was one was writing, and the other one was I was a hobby voiceover artist.
Okay.
So I used to sing when earlier. So I had been to one of the studios in Bangalore to record my voice, and they said for one of the reality shows. And they said, oh, you should probably start writing voiceovers.
Right.
And they started giving me scripts to record.
Okay.
So that was quite fun.
Right.
So I regularly started recording on Saturdays and Sundays, and some kind of money started coming in. This was when I was in a job. So at that point when I wanted to quit and try something, I wanted to figure out if this could be an option. So what I did was I went on loss of pay. I went on loss of pay for about 2 months, and I worked on setting up a small home setup, and I started recording and re-recording. I did not know anything about the voiceover industry. It was just this one friend I was recording for once in a while. Other than that, I never took it seriously. But when I went on loss of pay, there was not that money coming in.
Right.
So at that point, I had to do something about it.
Right.
And my job was, I was almost quitting my job.
Right.
So I knew that I had to make it this time. So I started writing to various voice banks, voice casting agencies, advertisement agencies, all of that.
Right.
Lots of rejection in the initial days.
Right.
And later, slowly, things started picking up. And in the first 2 months, I kind of was able to make good. I was in, of course, that money would never match.
Right.
When you are in IT, you are
Right.
just so overpaid sometimes
Right.
that you don't really understand what it is to actually go out and start something from scratch.
Sure, I understand. I was in IT and never thought twice, about buying anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but it kind of, I thought it might work out because there was money trickling in. So I went ahead and quit my job.
Okay.
So the next 6 months was really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so very used to getting salary on the first of every month.
Right.
And suddenly that was not there and I was struggling for survival.
Right.
Though I was not a 100% entrepreneur trying to build a brand,
Right.
I was trying to build my own brand.
Sure.
So it was a very natural progression from being an employee to a freelancer.
Right.
I learned a lot of things.
Okay. How many rejections would you have gotten? You said you got plenty of rejections.
Plenty of it.
Tens,
Plenty of it.
hundreds, what?
Yeah, earlier, to give you an idea, if I sent 10 samples, probably 8 would get rejected and 2 would get selected. Now it's, it's the other way around.
Okay.
But, so nobody starts perfect, is
Right.
what I'm trying to say here.
Right.
Everyone learns from their mistakes and failures are the stepping stones to success.
Okay. Brilliant. So you were doing all this and then you started F5Escapes. So can you give us a bit more, can you tell us a bit more about what F5Escapes actually is?
Yeah.
And also how did you come up with this idea?
Yes. All right. So almost 2 to 3 years after my job, I was freelancing and I was also actively doing travel blogging.
Okay.
I started my own blog. I started writing a lot about my travel because travel has always been a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of important decisions in my life have been taken during my travel.
Okay.
So that way, travel has been a very important part of my life, and I have always wanted to do something in the travel domain. I've been following a lot of, there were very few women travel groups at that point. At the time that I'm talking about is 2012. I've been following this space quite closely because I was a customer at that point. I wanted to travel India.
Right.
Like that. But the real trigger happened when the Delhi rape case happened.
Right.
In 2012 December.
Right.
So that was when I realized that at that point the travel blogging circuit was so active, so much of buzz, everyone writing about it. The blogosphere was completely with the posts about that. I was thinking, okay, should I write a blog about it? Or if I write a blog, probably the flooding will be around for some time and later it would die down.
Right.
So what can I do to change this? Is there something that I can do to make women in this country feel safer?
Right.
That was when this idea, and I was already looking at the women travel space and all that.
Right.
Not necessarily to start up, but just following.
Right.
That was when the idea solidified.
Okay.
That probably I know travel,
Right.
and I know I'm a fairly independent, confident woman traveler,
Right.
and I'm a mom as well.
Right.
So if I can travel, so
Right.
most other people, most
Right.
other women would be able to travel, and probably I
Right.
can help.
Right.
So in April 2013, I joined IIM Bangalore for their Women Entrepreneurship Program,
Okay.
Management Program for Women Entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And that was a 1.5 months course because I had no idea of starting a business.
Right.
So they have a condensed course which
Right.
I took, and by June 2013 I had my business plan.
Okay. Tell us a bit more about how F5Escapes actually works. Okay, you told me the idea and you are following this space closely, and that's how you thought, why can't they come up with a solution rather than just writing about it? So how does this work? how exactly do you help women travelers
Yes.
travel safe?
Sure. So, whenever anyone comes across F5Escapes, that's the first question that they ask.
Right,
How do you take care of safety?
right,
Number one, the biggest disclaimer here is we say we don't promise safety.
right,
Nobody can promise anybody safety.
right,
But what we say is we will definitely make you feel safe.
okay,
We'll give you an environment where you will feel safe.
right,
And how do we do it?
right,
We do it in a very different way. What we do is we primarily work with boutique hotels and homestays.
okay,
We try working very closely with the hosts. We try
Okay.
avoiding the middlemen
right,
and we directly work with the local service providers.
okay,
And we try finding places
Mhm.
which have at least one woman host.
okay,
If not, a very reliable, very established local person handling it.
right,
That way it really brings in a level of trust.
okay,
And from there, we build a network of trust from there.
Okay.
Their trusted drivers, their trusted service providers.
okay,
Like that, we jot a graph.
okay,
So, we started with select places,
Okay.
and now we have such vendors across India.
okay. Excellent. And is this like a kind of a group tour comprised only of females, or how does it work?
There are two models here.
Okay.
One is all women fixed departure group tours,
Okay.
where it's as it says, it's all women,
Right.
and the dates are fixed.
Okay.
But any woman from any part of the
Right.
world can join.
Okay.
That is the first way.
Okay.
The second one is customized itineraries.
Okay.
This could be all women or mixed groups.
Right.
But generally the first point of contact, the people who contact us are women.
Right.
The way we started doing customized itineraries is,
Mhm.
most of our women who started traveling with us saw the difference in our itineraries and the value add that we provide.
Okay.
They came back to us for all their family and friends trips as well.
Okay.
So nowadays, what we say is, if you have always wanted to travel with your bunch of friends, just call us. We are just a phone call away. Or if you're fascinating with your family,
Right.
call us. We can do end-to-end logistics for you.
Okay. Excellent. Now, for our budding founders listening out there, can you give us some tips on how to come up with a good idea?
Okay. Coming up with a good idea, I would say there is nothing like a good or a bad idea.
Mhm.
Ultimately, it's all about the execution.
Okay.
But one pointer I would say is,
Mhm.
see if you are solving a real problem.
Mhm.
Where there is a problem, there is an opportunity.
Okay. So I just want to hang on to that a little bit. You're saying, see that you're solving a real problem. So, are there perceived problems or unreal problems? When you use the term real problem, what do you mean? Can I embark on a journey trying to solve a fictitious problem? Sorry.
Yeah. It need not necessarily be a problem. Sometimes, see, businesses can be of two ways, right?
Mhm.
One, you are solving a need.
Right.
The other one, you're solving a want.
Right.
So, for us, actually, while travel falls into the lifestyle category and it is not a need, it's just a want.
Right.
It's a need of the hour for the country.
Right.
Our country being perceived as safe and all that is a bigger problem.
Right.
To solve it, it is not easy, but we are
Right.
having fun solving it. Whereas, launching a new brand of clothing
Right.
is probably I wouldn't say call it a problem, but it is probably a want. You are picking on the want. It's all dependent on. So no idea is bad.
Right.
It all depends on how you project it and how you execute it.
Okay.
And sometimes you can convert wants to needs. For example, what Steve Jobs did with Apple.
Right.
People want to own, Apple products.
Right. Right.
They see that as a symbol of status and,
Right.
something that is so pricey and all that.
Right.
Now people long to own it.
Right.
So it all depends on how the
Okay.
execution is, right?
So let's move to that. So how do you execute upon an idea?
All right. So this is one part that I really like because a lot of us are perfectionists.
Right.
I used to be one as well.
Okay.
So I would,
You have to be, right, in the voiceover business, or is that
I think
just a fad?
Yeah, I think in the voiceover business works very differently. But when you are an entrepreneur, when you are starting up something,
right,
and you don't know anything about it,
right,
you should rather get your hands dirty,
right,
than wait to make it 100% perfect.
Right.
No one is, it's more important to be arrive timely,
right,
than, procrastinate, and probably by the time it is perfect, no one would want it.
Yeah. I just recently read on Twitter, LinkedIn founders quote that says, if the first version of the product doesn't embarrass you, then you have shipped it too late. I think that's the quote. I think that pretty much sums up what you're saying.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. So we all hear about founders sacrificing family times to make their venture a success. You also already mentioned that you have a son. So can you tell us a bit more about your family and how you manage both family and business?
Yeah. So I have quite a bit of family support, and especially I should tell about my son. He is a travel freak as well,
okay,
so he is perfectly okay. And the need to start something like this stemmed from the fact that my husband, me, and my son, we were not getting that time overlap to travel together, and I wanted to be able to travel in safe groups.
Right.
That is where the basic need for starting something like F5 originated from.
Okay.
But people do talk about work-life balance, but if work is something that you really enjoy and have fun with,
mm-hmm,
then it will not look like a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And also, work should not consume so much of your life that you don't give time to the necessary things.
Right.
For example, my son's exams are going on. I'll make it a point that I will be there for him when he studies and
right,
all that.
Right.
I just say working very late and all that is a fact.
Right.
Work smart.
Right.
Do work hard, but work smart.
Okay.
And scientifically, it has been proven that you can only have these many productive hours in a work day.
Right.
I set hourly goals.
Okay.
So most of the days, at least 3 to 4 days in a week, I set hourly goals and I keep achieving them.
Okay.
Most of us have only 4 to 5 very productive hours in the day.
True.
Other than that, we'll be in meetings or
right,
social media or something.
Right.
If we can achieve 200% productivity in those hours,
right,
I think half the problem is solved.
Okay, excellent advice. I really like it. Now coming to women entrepreneurs, is it just me, or is it a sad reality that not many women are into entrepreneurship? So I've connected with a lot of tech founders, and so few are women. Do you agree that there are less women in entrepreneurship? And what do you think is the reason for this, and how do you think it can be changed?
Alright. So, yes, it is true that there are lesser number of women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And that is also, all this takes root from the society as well.
Right. It's
not
male-dominated society.
Patriarchal, not just India, the numbers in the West also suggest that there are lesser number of women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And also it is a matter of how we are wired.
Right.
The priorities, especially for a woman in her middle ages,
right,
definitely shifts to the child, and most of them, not many of them have good support systems and
right,
everything. So there is always a fine line that they have to.
Right.
There is always a trade-off.
Right.
But still, yes, the things are getting really better.
Uh-huh.
There are quite a few more women entrepreneurs, and also there are quite a few. Just that there aren't too many stories out there.
Okay.
People like you, when
Right.
you bring out the stories,
Right.
that is when more and more women will be inspired to take this route.
Right.
But also one more thing, entrepreneurship is way too romanticized a subject.
Right.
It is not very true. It is not all that cool, or as cool as it sounds.
Sure.
The grass is greener on the other side. That's how it is.
Yeah. So we'll just touch on the women entrepreneurs, and you said if more people listen, more women listen to the show and things like that, they would also get inspired. So what would your advice be specific to women entrepreneurs listening?
Alright. So at this juncture, I have to tell you, I have been a volunteer with Headstart Network Foundation, which is India's largest early stage entrepreneurship community.
Right.
It has presence in over 13 cities, and I lead and drive the Women Entrepreneurs Initiative at Headstart.
Okay.
So the reason we started it itself was there are a few bunch of ladies like us who are very active in the startup ecosystem.
Right.
And we saw very little participation from women.
Right.
We were trying to figure out why, and what we saw was not many women were coming out to these events, and
Right.
there is just so much information out there. But it is not being consumed by the women. That is one thing we are trying to change at Headstart.
Right.
So what I would say, what I would tell women entrepreneurs is, just be out there. Don't be afraid to speak yourself out.
Right.
Only when you are heard, you will be noticed. And one thing that one big mistake I made early during my entrepreneurship days was, I thought if we do good work, we will automatically be recognized.
Right.
That is not the case.
Right.
We have to talk about the good work that we do, because there is just so much noise in the world out there.
Right.
And you have to make the right noises to be heard.
Right. So excellent advice, and it applies to both men and women. I believe it's not just the quality of work that you do, but how well you sell yourself.
Yeah.
I think it matters a lot.
Yeah, and one specific advice to women, or it wouldn't be an advice, just a suggestion, is that, when we step out of the house, a lot of women think that the house will come crashing down, the children will miss. The truth is, children don't really miss us. They learn faster than us.
Right.
As mothers, we tend to be more attached to the child than the child. The child also needs some freedom sometimes.
Right.
And independence. So it's okay to step out and do things that you like to do.
Okay, excellent. Great advice. I really like it. Now, is there a daily ritual that you follow, or a morning ritual? Can you share it with myself and our listeners?
100%. Exercise.
Exercise, okay.
I believe that exercise is something that completely changes your life.
Right.
As entrepreneurs, we have incredible amount of stress.
Right.
And exercise is the only thing that can set it right. You start your day with a positive mindset, and the body releases the endorphins.
Right.
And all the stress associated hormones, and
right.
the day goes on in a positive mood.
Okay.
I swear by exercise.
Okay. So you exercise every day, every morning?
Every single day.
Okay. Great. Can you tell us something about yourself that is not commonly known?
Okay. So I was a practicing storyteller at one point.
Okay. So what's a practicing storyteller? I'm not familiar with the term.
So before I set on to do F5Escapes, I was in a soul searching mode for about 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
At that time, I sold and baked cakes.
Okay.
I baked and sold cakes.
Okay. Okay.
I sold pastas.
Okay.
I went about to different libraries telling stories. I was performing stories.
Okay.
Dramatized performance of stories.
Okay.
I did a lot of things before I ended up starting F5.
Great. You gave me 3 things instead of 1. That's great. We are almost halfway through. We just have maybe another 6-7 questions.
Right.
So, what is the best advice somebody has given you?
Alright. Yeah, I think this is something that would be applicable for anybody in their personal or professional lives. I heard it once from a very wise man that at any given point in time, let your actions be defined by these 3 things: respectable, responsible, and functional.
Okay.
At any point in time, if you are sulking, let's say, and especially it is very true with entrepreneurship, there are so many difficult moments that press you down,
Right.
and you feel like, no, I don't want to work, I want to just run away. And those moments happen to all entrepreneurs.
Right.
At that point, just make sure you are still functional.
Right.
You take one baby step forward every day.
Right.
And respectable. What you do is respectable. You respect yourself for what you're doing.
Right.
That is primarily, it talks about integrity.
Right.
Not losing your integrity. And responsible.
Okay.
Make sure it does not affect others in a negative way.
Okay. Brilliant.
Respectable, responsible, and functional.
Brilliant. Now, you also just mentioned that you volunteer with Headstart Network. Can you give a bit more advice on how listeners can join this network and what benefits they can get?
All right. So Headstart Network is almost 8 years old now. Most of you would have heard about our flagship event, Startup Saturday.
Okay.
This event happens consistently on the second Saturday of every month across 13 different Indian cities.
Okay.
And this serves as a showcase for upcoming startups and also a great platform for aspiring and early stage entrepreneurs to come and be inspired by big names in the industry who have struggled and made it big.
Okay.
So that is our flagship event, flagship initiative. Besides, we have a lot of other initiatives like co-founder search. We all know how difficult it is to find a like-minded co-founder, right? So we at Headstart, we are trying to bridge the gap between people and bring them closer, so that your chances of getting a co-founder are higher.
Right.
And we also have this hiring initiative called Headstart Hire, where we bring rockstar startups and great candidates together.
Okay.
Hiring, we make startup hiring process easy. And we have another very important initiative called Headstart Clubs, which is a closed door session where we have one subject matter expert, a mentor, and 4 to 5 startup founders, and they brainstorm on one particular subject.
Okay.
And and we at Headstart, which is the Women Entrepreneurship Initiative at Headstart. We are trying to provide women entrepreneurs all resources, access to all resources, information, inspiration and mentorship.
Okay. So I think you missed how can listeners join this network?
Yes. So we are on, you can write to Bangalore at Headstart.in if you are keen on joining if you want to volunteer, you can write to Bangalore at Headstart.in and you can join our Facebook group Headstart Network. It's a huge community. And most of your startup related questions will get answered there.
So we can go to Headstart.in and kind of get information on how to join, because I'm conscious a lot of listeners are all over India, all over.
Yes, the best way to join is join our Facebook group. Headstart Network.
Okay, brilliant. Can you tell us, I think you touched a bit upon this. The question is, can you tell us a bit about your worst entrepreneurial moment and how did you turn it around and the lessons you learned from that experience? I think you touched on baking cakes, going to the library, but I think you really enjoyed all those things.
No, so that was fun.
So tell us about your worst entrepreneurial moment.
Okay. There have been quite a few moments where I felt, oh my god, what I'm doing. The initial days, especially as a solo founder, it's incredibly lonely. You suddenly feel the world does not understand you at all. The world thinks of you like, okay, what is this person doing now? Especially I'm working on a very different idea which is kind of ahead of its time. So most of the men would smirk and women would be like shocked or will be overwhelmed with disbelief. And how can a trip run without even a secret mail? So what I had the rape case and I used to ask, what happened to Nithya? She was with it. So the very difficult questions initially felt very. Now I know I have to just shut up and keep working, keep building on the idea. I shouldn't really mind. But there have also been, as a part of the business, there have been difficult situations where, as I said, our work was not. We knew we were doing good work, but we were not able to reach out to people and all that. At that point, the realization that dawned that we have to really reach out to people and start talking about our work. That was another. We touched rock bottom before the realization dawned.
Okay, brilliant. What's the future you envision in your own entrepreneurial journey? Now I framed this question just saying entrepreneurial journey rather than F5Escapes because you have been through a lot of different things. So what's the future you envision for yourself?
So for myself, yes, I started F5 after I wrote my purpose of life statement. So FI is my lifetime dream.
Okay.
Though I have done a lot of soul searching, this is
Right.
one big problem that I want to solve.
Okay.
At least for the next 10 years,
Okay.
I see myself completely dedicated to FI.
Okay. So what's the future you envision in F5?
Alright. So a day will come when women from across the world wouldn't think before they want to travel to India.
Right.
When FI would have brought about that change.
Okay.
FI would have put India back on the global travel map as a safe travel destination.
Brilliant. I really respect your vision and good luck with
Thank
that.
you. I know it's a very lofty dream, but yes, it's not wrong to dream big.
Yeah, I agree. Can you recommend any books or resources for our budding entrepreneurs?
Yes. So, on the business side, the latest book that I read was 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel.
Right.
That completely would change the way you look at startups and how do you think of business and competition and all that.
Right.
That was very enlightening. It was an eye-opener of a book for me. On the personal side, I would say emotional intelligence. I think that is something that all of us need to read. You know, most of the successful entrepreneurs in the world are very emotionally intelligent and stable people. And the kind of lemons that entrepreneurship journey would throw at you,
Right.
you need to be emotionally very stable to tackle them and keep moving forward.
Okay. So who's this emotional intelligence by? Is it
Daniel Goleman.
Okay, we'll link it up in the show notes. Now, F5Escapes is about 2.5 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
2 years old.
2 years, okay. But what would you have done different in hindsight if you started out today?
I would have understood that reaching out is the first priority.
Okay,
Talk about your product even before you build your product.
okay, because you were kind of late in that, is it?
As I said, we were doing good work but not talking about it. We were like a brim vessel, not making any kind of noise.
Okay. Okay, excellent. I just have one final question. So before we go on to that, how can our listeners get in touch with you? Are you active on LinkedIn, Twitter, blog? You also mentioned the blog. So
My blog is semi-often now.
okay.
Yeah, I don't get time to write, but yes, I'm planning to resurrect it.
Okay, so what's your Twitter handle?
Twitter handle is Malini GS.
Okay, so that's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yes, I'm quite active on Twitter.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
And you could also connect with me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Malini
Okay.
Gowrishankar is the name.
Okay, excellent. I just have one final question, but before that, I just want to take the time and acknowledge you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to myself and our listeners. I'm also very grateful for the value you are adding into the world and specifically to India's tourism, the things that you are trying to do. I'm really grateful for that, and also for your role as a volunteer in Headstart Network. So with that, we'll move on to the final question. So if there is one gyan that you could give our would-be founders, what would that be?
Time to start it is now.
Okay.
That's our motto at Headstart. Don't keep procrastinating, just start, get your hands dirty.
Okay. Excellent advice. I really like it. So thank you so much, Malini, for your time, and it was a real pleasure chatting with you, and wish you continued success in your future ventures.
Thank you so much, Ram. It was a pleasure interacting with you. Good luck with FoundersGyan as well.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, folks. Another great startup and founder. Check out the show notes at www.foundersgyan.com/EP14. If you liked what you heard, please share it with your friends and colleagues using the nifty share icons on the show notes page or directly email the URL. Also, don't forget to check out the top listened podcasts of the past at www.foundersgyan.com/top. I'll see you all next week with yet another great founder and startup story. In the meantime, you know what the show was meant to do. I hope you got inspired and do take action today. Thank you again for tuning in.